Hey, I am Mike Jacobs. I am your son or daughter's physical science teacher for this their freshman year. And basically, I just want to set up this little video. This is basically just an introduction on physical science, how it works. We're going to take a look at what we'll be learning, some of the goals of the course, but also I want to get into my Moodle site and how I use it and different helps that are there for your son or daughter's education. So I do have to start out with my family, my beautiful wife, Leishan, and I have two boys, David and Nathan. But that's enough about me. So physical science, what are we going to be studying? The first semester we take a look at chemistry. It's an introduction to chemistry. Most students take chemistry their junior year, and we just want to give them a very good foundation on what it is and how it works. Semester two, we take a look at physics. A lot of students take physics their senior year. And once again, we're just trying to get down a really good foundation. Now, the perspective of any class is so very important. I love teaching at a Christian school, so I can just teach about who made creation and who set it all up and who made these laws of physics and chemistry. And basically, we take a number of perspectives, but we say God not only made a beautiful creation, but he also gave us this sense of curiosity, this sense of passion and exploration in us. And then he tells us to use the creation that he made to help other people, to serve other people. So whether that's building time-saving devices or figuring out ways to improve people's health, that's what God asks us to do. And we get to join in on him on helping other people and serving other people. And that is just an awesome, awesome thing that we can do. Just a little bit. Mike Jacobs, there's my email right there. Feel free to email me at any time. Any questions at all, parents, students, whatever. I welcome questions, and email is just a great way just that I can reach a lot of kids and at different times. Okay, here's my phone number. Just don't call after 9 o'clock. That's all I ask. When is my door open? Most of the time, it's open before school. I get here usually between 7:10, 7:15. My door is open. Come on in. I can help you individually. I can also help you during break time, during lunchtime. Whenever my free period is, I can help you then as well. I don't know yet when my free period is, but I would love to be able to help you then. After school, I can help for a little bit, but I usually do have to pick up my son. So I do have to take off a little bit after school gets done, but obviously not right away, and I can help you for a little bit then as well. So in my experience, I've taught at Denver Christian for 4 years. I've taught in China for 2 summers, and that was so much fun. This is my 10th year at Calvin Christian High School. Absolutely love this school. It's a wonderful school. All right, so I basically want to take a look at what we're trying to do, some of the goals of this course. And this is more big picture type goals, okay? This is Bloom's taxonomy. I don't know if you've seen it before or not, but basically this is what we're building education on. The foundation is knowledge. Students need to know a lot of stuff to be able to deal with that stuff, and that's very good, and this is what a lot of education has been built on, and this is a very important starting point, but it can't be all of it. It's only a starting point. Now in high school, we're working to understand it, be able to apply the concepts that we're learning in different areas and apply them to different situations. We need to be able to analyze it, see if we agree with all of it or agree with just some of it, evaluate it, what was good, what was bad about it, what maybe is a hole in a study that the scientists didn't take a look at, what's maybe some bias in there, and finally be able to create new things, new understanding, new concepts, new ideas based on the knowledge that we have learned. Now, this is one of the things I think that Calvin Christian High School is extremely good at, but we're good at understanding that knowledge is the base. But now that we're in the information age, it does change this base a little bit. Now we don't have to we have to put emphasis on knowledge. We have to understand, we have to know a lot of things, but we also have to remember that most of us have smartphones and we can look this stuff up very, very quickly. Most of us in our daily jobs will have access to the internet through a tablet, or a computer or whatever, and we'll be able to look up some stuff very, very quickly. So we have to have a bank of knowledge in our head, but we don't have to have every single little detail memorized. Now we have to understand more, work with understanding the information, applying it, creating new things. Basically, what I see in high school, we're hiking up this pyramid, we're climbing this pyramid, and we're getting better and better through practice at using the knowledge that we are learning. I love this quote down here: the need to know the capital of Florida died when my phone learned the answer. Rather, the students of tomorrow need to be able to think creatively. They'll need to learn on their own, adapt to new challenges, and be able to innovate on the fly. I think that's a great quote. I still think students need to know that Tallahassee is the capital of Florida, but we do need to be able to create and evaluate the information that we see as well, because information will be readily available at any time. And I think that's one thing that Calvin Christian is just absolutely wonderful at. Evaluation for grades for this course, cumulative points out of points possible. Basically, that just means everything that your son or daughter does, they get some points for it. And at the end of the quarter or the end of the semester, we take how many points they earned out of how many points they could have earned, and that gives them their grade. All worksheets, all homework is worth 1 point per question. Quizzes are 10 to 30 points. We usually don't have a huge amount of quizzes, but we usually do have some. Tests, all tests are 100 points. That's very straightforward. All my tests are also the same format. They're all 15 multiple choice questions, 15 matching questions, and 10 short answer questions. The exam is 20% of the semester grade. It is not cumulative. That means at the end of the first semester, they'll take an exam over what they learned first semester, and that's worth 20% of their semester grade, which is what goes on their college transcript. At the end of the year, they will take an exam, of course, but it's only going to cover second semester. It doesn't cover the whole year. That final exam is, once again, 20% of their semester grade. Part of the reasoning behind that is just because first semester is chemistry, second semester is physics. They're both very much science, but they're both pretty unique worlds, and so that's why they're not cumulative. All right, let's see here. Moodle helps. This is something I definitely wanted to get into. This is some of the stuff I put into Moodle just to help your son or daughter. There will be more coming down the chute. I always add to this, my Moodle page, but most students find this very, very helpful. Your son or daughter will get their login on the very first day of school, and so they can log into Moodle. I do want to mention also that same login will work in PowerSchool, and PowerSchool is basically what we use for open gradebooks. So your son or daughter, or you, of course, can take a look online, see what their grade is, take a look at their assignments, see if they've missed any homework, anything like that. Very, very important. So Physical Science A is what this tutorial is about. You can go ahead and explore this at any time, but I do want to point out a few of the things I've put in here that students definitely like. The first one, the review sheets. Basically what this is a list of vocabulary that the students are responsible for. They need to understand all these different things. Now, the way that they show up on the test is not usually word for word exactly the same that's in the notes, and that's just because I want them to understand these things and not just be memorizing a list of words. Concepts to know down here, these are the things that they need to understand, and this is just to give them some idea of what I expect them to be able to do for the test. Review sheet, that is something I do not hand out to the kids. That's there for every single chapter, but it's something I do not hand out. Review questions is an assignment. It is something that I hand out to the students. It's something that I assign them to do. and it's a list of questions that we go through for the chapter. They'll get at the end of the chapter, and the day after they get this, we have a review day. And basically, some of these mathy ones I'll show the answers to, some of the trickier ones I'll show the answers to up on the whiteboard. But then we just kind of sit back and I answer any question that the students have, anything that they seem unsure about, anything that they want to go over. We'll go over that. And that's their chance just to make sure that we're all on the same page and we all understand all these different concepts. So this is something that does get handed out to the students. A lot of students have asked me to put it online just so they can start working on it ahead of time, and that's something I'm very, very happy to comply with. Okay. Every test also has a practice test that the kids can take at any time. This is the paper version. Some students like using this, but this is a little bit older. It's not the same size as the normal test, but it's a nice little practice test that they can take. I actually suggest that they don't use the paper test. I've converted it into a Moodle format, a Moodle test down here. It's the same questions, but I suggest that they take this one down here. And the reason is they can go ahead, answer all the questions, and then Moodle will grade most of it for them. So just answer the questions very, very simply, fill out the short answers, stuff like that. On the normal test, it's matching. Here I put it down as fill in the blank. And so they can just go through it. Now they'll hit next, submit all and finish, and once they hit that submit all and finish, it'll show them what they got right, what they got wrong. They do have to grade their own essay questions, their own short answer questions. Moodle can't grade that. We're not at that stage yet, but they will have to grade their own. The explanation of the concept will pop up and they'll have to read their answer, and I'm going to call it the correct answer. And they have to then decide how close they were they right on, were they half on, stuff like that. And then they'll have to give themselves points based on how their essay looks. Yeah. I find this is a very, very good, these practice tests are extremely good for showing students what I expect on the test, so there's no surprises in that area. But also students can take this test just to see what they're looking at for the test. A lot of students take it to see how much do I have to study or how prepared am I for the test. Something that's very, very useful. Most of these I have set up so that students can take them twice. I don't require students to take these practice tests, but I think that they're an extremely good help for students in just preparing for the test itself. All right. Another thing that I have up here ready to go is I have a number of videos. Some of these videos I've made, some of these videos I've pulled from YouTube, and these are basically just tutorial videos that the kids can hit anytime, and that can just help them understand, help them brush up on concepts that we've learned in class. Many students I have found like to actually watch these videos ahead of time before we even get into the chapter, and that just helps them understand, basically get a little bit ahead of the class, and that's absolutely fine. That's wonderful. I love it when they do that. I also do have a rule that if you are getting a C or lower in the class, it is your assignment, it is your job to watch these videos ahead of time, and that just basically will help the students get ahead of the class, get a leg up, and just helps them keep up and helps them with understanding in the class itself. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to go over for my Moodle. There's other things on there, different classroom activities and projects and stuff like that, but I'll be talking with your son or daughter about that. I just wanted to take a look at some of the bigger things that I use and the stuff that's for every chapter. So we'll get rid of that. And yes, last thing I wanted to cover, doing well in high school. This applies to my class, but this also applies to all the different classes. First thing I suggest is obviously pay attention in class, but then also ask questions when you don't get something. That's just so very important. If you have a question, usually at least 5 or 10 other kids in the class have the same question. A lot of kids will ask during class. We usually start out at the start of the year, first chapter, kids don't ask as many questions. As we go throughout the school year, we try and get much more comfortable. And generally, kids, by the second chapter, kids are already very willing to ask questions. You always have some kids that are a little bit more shy in class and don't like asking questions. That's absolutely fine. They are children of God as well. And in that area, then I definitely ask them to email me their questions, or they can call me or talk to me individually. If they're a little bit shy in class with asking questions, I'm definitely open to that. Number 2, always do your homework. Ask questions when we go over it, of course, but a lot of the homework, not all the homework, but a lot of the homework we take a look at effort-wise. We take a look at what effort did they put into it, did they give it a good try on it. Some of the homework I grade not based on right answers or wrong answers, but based on the effort that they put into it. Did they do it or did they not do it? So keep an eye on PowerSchool. If there's a 0 down there for something, that might mean that they just didn't even do that assignment. Okay? So always do your homework. Homework is seen as practice. The test, obviously, I grade based on right or wrong, but homework, a lot of times I take a look at the effort that they put into it. Number 3 is a hard one for students. Read over your notes 5 to 10 minutes every night. Circle anything you don't get. Ask me about it the next day. That is a tall order for high school students, for freshmen especially. It's something that I have found works absolutely wonderfully, and I've had a lot of students come back to me after college and just tell me how much that has helped them. And I found it to be absolutely awesome. I'll be honest, I did not do that in high school, but I did start doing that in college, and it helped me retain the knowledge so much better and understand the knowledge. Just reading through my notes 5-10 minutes every night is way better than cramming the night before the test. All right. See me outside of class or at home if you have any questions. I definitely want to answer them. I definitely want to help you in any way that I can. I see my job. I am here to serve. I am here to help in any way I can. Use your review sheets and review questions to study for the test. Make sure you're understanding concepts, not just memorizing them. That's so important because we're in high school now and we're learning how to apply these different concepts and understand these concepts. Memorizing is important, but you also have to understand how to use what you have memorized. Number 6 is more of a rule that I have in my class. If you're absent, it's your job to see me before class begins when you return. And the reason for that, if you're gone, absolutely fine, but I want to get on the same page. I want to get you caught up before class starts rather than doing that after the bell, rather than doing that during class time. Alrighty. Hope this helps us all get onto the same page. I look forward to having a lot of fun. Look forward to having a great year. Look forward to exploring God's creation with you and just helping your son or daughters and just helping them learn more about the gifts that God gave us and how we can understand them and use them to promote His kingdom and bring His kingdom a little bit closer to earth. So, hey, hope this helped. Have a great time, and I look forward to a good year. Thank you. Bye-bye.